Okay, another cuckoo clock, just as it came to me. Water wheel is gone. Little people, wood chopper, little tree, similar to that one we did before, but it's a little deer on this one. The problem I see is in here. Turn it over. We've got a music box hanging free. So, it's a Regula 25P. Okay, per usual, I had to untangle a bunch of chains. Took the ends off, put them in here along with the music box. Gotta investigate this. Music box has a loop chain. Gotta figure out where that's going. We'll find out. Oh, there's two chain wheels on here. So the one loop, alright, is for the chain that has the weight on it that runs that, and then the loop chain goes up on a, let me get some more light in here. And it goes up on another wheel back there that turns the water wheel. No, that's a pulley system. That, yeah, it probably does turn the water wheel, but it also turns the direction of that loop chain to go around this chain wheel that runs the dancers. Okay, so now we see how that works. Now I'm just going to take the bellows out. This got to be a modern movement because they use of Phillips screws. Phillips screws were for holding on the music box, but somebody is missing one of the screws is missing that has the washer on it. And somebody put in another slotted screw to hold that music box. Kind of ugly. And now we get the other oh shoot. Nuts. I don't see any screws to hold the bellows on here, and no nails. And guess why? Because I can see here somebody's drawn a line and somebody actually glued these in. Wonderful. That makes repair even more difficult. Hope the bellows are in good shape. Alright, now you got a mess in here. We got wire here that is on the back loop of the bellow, and that operates the little wood chopper in front. This wire operates the bellow. There's another wire here that operates the right hand bellow. And we'll just have to take those out. Here are the two wires that are supposed to control the music box, and they are obviously a holy terror of a bent up mess. And this is a night shut off, and it's a loose as a goose. What it's supposed to do is when you flip this up, this little thing right here, this little part of the lever is supposed to push on this arbor, push it forward, and that disconnects the front so that the cuckoo won't chime during the night. So we'll start by unbending the loops on these wires, get the wires out of the way. Next, pull the bird out of there, undo his loop, and undo the screw in the back on the perch inside. Slide the bird off the perch, so I'm going to have to take him out with the movement, so we'll undo the movement. There's a shim here, so don't generally see to have shims in these things. Okay, it turns out that wasn't a shim. It's they're little squares of plywood, and that piece of plywood simply delaminated. Another clue as to the lack of age on this is the screws. They weren't Phillips, they were slotted, but the clue to their newness is the fact that they're aluminum. Letter P, date P, made in Germany, not West Germany. Another clue, this is a newer movement, is that the spider wheel does not have a set screw on it. It has a hole for a set screw, but it was press fit, so anyway, the thing that I see, the only thing I see is this movement is very, very dirty. Got a lot of oil in it. There's a drop of oil that's sitting right there on a fan. Escape wheel is very oily. We'll check everything else out on it. Otherwise, we'll just clean it and put it back together. The rest of it's going to have to be dealing with craziness. I think what I'll do with these bellows is I'll get a heat gun and see if I can get those to release with a heat gun. Alright, heat gun didn't work, but I was able to break them loose with a putty knife and a wooden mallet. It's a good thing I did take it out because I'm looking at this bellows and the paper is just about shot, so it needs new bellow tops or replacement. So I don't know. It doesn't look too bad. Okay, so the little wheel took the dancers out. The little wheels, pulleys here do not operate the water wheel. That's operated by the music box. And it's all one piece. So we'll clean this up as well and see about getting these back together. I've been around for a while. There are some cobwebs, spider webs in here. Way up in here. Hope those aren't spider eggs. Don't need those down here. Cleaning the case. I was wrong about this guy too. He's not a wood chopper. He's pounding a beer stein on a table. Okay, part for this movement. One thing I have noticed, whoever messed with this before oiled the levers. That is a no-no. Don't ever put oil on the levers. Here's the kind of dirt causes a problem with clocks not running. Look at that. Talking about a little too much oil, huh? Okay, first time ever. No matter how much effort I put into it, heating that brass hub, everything under the sun, I cannot get that star wheel off. While getting the star wheel off, I can't take this gear out, chain wheel, and it's a modern one that they've done. Put this plastic guard on to keep the chain from falling out, but to keep that guard in place, they add a little extra pin right here for that guard to hang on to. Well, problem is, not only can I get the wheel out, but that guard keeps me from being able to rotate the hammer to get it out. If I can't get the hammer out, I can't get those other levers out. Okay, here's all the parts cleaned and ready to go back together. What I did with that spider wheel is finally got it off, but it was just terrible. I ended up putting a new arbor in here that will fit a new star wheel with a screw on it, so that it can be more easily taken off the next time that it needs serviced. So we'll get this all put back together now. Okay, we have that back together, and now I'm going to replace the star wheel with one that has a set screw in it. There's always a lot of discussion on where the set screw ought to be set, or the star wheel ought to be set. When the lever is set in the gathering pallet and the pin is against the lever on the warning wheel, in other words, neutral, then you move the star wheel until 2. Let me get a pointer here. Until 2 of the prongs here, for example, and here make a line this way that is parallel to the edge of the plate, and then that'll be in good position. I had C-clip fly off on me, so gotta find me one in here. It's the same size. There's some right there. Here's a little chip I patched on the top of the case. Now I use a little raw umber and just cover that up. Okay, taken care of. And when that dries, be covered. Just another little tiny chip here that I filled in. Okay, taken care of. Okay, and now we've cleaned and used boiled linseed oil and mineral spirits to clean up, get all the dirt out, and get it looking a little better. Get the dancers put back in, put the loop chain around. We'll hook that on when we get the music box in. And after stabbing myself with this tack that was holding on this thing, a tack stuck through the piece of wood, and stabbing my finger on it several times, I took it out and replaced it with a very short, small brass screw, and that works better than the tack anyway. Okay, putting the music box and this loop chain, and there's two wheels down there. You have to have a loop chain around one to run the dancer platform, and another chain to put the weight on to run the music box. And I found it easier to put this up on a test stand, put the loop around the dancer platform over the pulleys and let it hang down. Then put the weight chain on, put it through the holes, then loop the other end of the loop over the other wheel on the music box, and put a screw in to hold the box, and then see if it works. And okay, so now we put the other screws in the music box and we'll have that part back in. Alright, with this back together, this isn't running. Just won't run, and I think what the problem is, this is much too tight back here. So that end has to come up, the music box has to come up a little bit. One of the reasons I say that is if I look over there where the opening for the water wheel is, it's a little low in the hole and a little over that way, so if that goes up a little bit, that'll make that better too. This has been kind of a crazy thing. If it's too tight, this won't run. If it's too loose, these chains have the chance of coming up over the top and coming off. So you have to find just the right tightness. So I put one screw in here, this one's loose. One screw in here, I use it as a pivot point, and then I'm putting shims underneath until I find just the right combination that will allow it to run, not being too tight, but not allow this chain to slip off the pulleys by being too loose. So we'll get it right that way. And then we'll put the screws, all the screws in. Okay, I think we got just the right position for this thing now. This is not so loose that it'll come out. And let's see how it works. Okay, I think we got it. After much measuring, I think we got this where it's going to run smoothly now. And on the other side, we've got the water wheel hooked up and it's running. Alright. Okay, working on the trip lever. You'll remember that curly-cued mess. I straightened all the wires and now I'm seeing how this is going to go. And let's just take a look approximately what we need. Alright. We need to have this back wire back here, push down on that lever, push down on that lever that's touching right there, and that releases the pin out of that hole on the roller. So when that pushes down, here's what should happen, like that. At the same time, this piece needs to move in front of the fan as that's pressing down, releasing. And then when the clock is done cuckooing, this will all lift up, release it to run the music box. So we got to make some minor adjustments, but we're close to having that done. Okay, problem I'm finding is this hole is for the screw has been screwed up so badly that it's hard to get it to stay tight. The problem is there's not enough threads to really do it right, so I've said to heck with it, I'm going to make a new one. I got a piece of brass here. This one's 6 millimeters in diameter. This is 7. So if I drill the same hole here to fit over the arbor. That'll give me another full 1/2 millimeter for threads, and I think I'll tap it with a 260 or drill and tap the hole on the side to attach that to the arbor with a 264 screw and thread, and that ought to do it. So I'm going to put this in the lathe, face it off, drill a hole in the center, and then cut it to length with a cut off, and then we'll drill and tap 2 holes in and put those wires in a new piece, and I think we'll have a much better piece then. Okay, there's the piece drilled, and then we got to make holes for the wires, and then we have to drill and tap. Okay, the piece fits nicely. I'm going to put the screw on the bottom so that we can come up through the slot with a long screwdriver to do the tightening. Otherwise it's hard to get a screwdriver in there to tighten that thing down. So that's what we'll do. It's hard to hold the camera and do. Let me undo this now. Undo it. And slide it back off. And now we'll go put the wires on. Here's the old one. Here, and here's the new one. Put a little extra length on it so they can be adjusted. Now I just gotta tighten those in there, put the screw in, and we can begin to set that up. Alright, the strike mechanism for the Cuckoo is in the movement, and there is a arbor that sticks out here that we made that new part for and put new wires on. There's a wire that goes over here and down, and it will push down on this lever, which will release this from the hole on the barrel, and at the same time this lever will move down in front of the fan to hold the music box. This releases the music box. This one holds the music box until the Cuckoo is done. Then when this lever pops back up, the music box plays. And I'll advance the hour hand. Now you see it on the half hour. It won't trip anything until after it's done cuckooing, and then it hits the lever and releases it. Okay, now it plays. Okay, now it's stopped. Okay, now as we approach the hour, this lever back here is going to drop and push on the lever of the music box. At the same time, this will move down in front of the fan. There it goes. Okay, it's in place. Now it pushes, releases the music box. You can see this being released. This is in front of the fan. Now we get to Cuckoo. And the music box plays. Okay, we have the bellows in. Wire going to that one. And you get 2 wires over here. One that goes to the bellow from the bellow lifter. Another one from the bellow to the beer drinker on the front. Okay, had to take it back apart again. Took the movement out. Something was going on with this lever here. It was keeping it from dropping. Well, it'd run for a while, strike just fine, and all of a sudden that would hang up. So I'm going to be looking for a bent pivot or a bent tooth. Okay, this is with the night shutoff off. Nope. That's with it on, I guess. I don't know what's going on. Okay, we found the problem. It was the night shutoff. This thing was just slightly, and it really needs a spacer in it. So it was just, sometimes it would cuckoo and sometimes it wouldn't, because even in the off position, the night shutoff was pushing the tab out of the way that resets the cuckoo. So we'll put a spacer in the night shutoff and then that should be okay. Okay, we're done. Now, let's listen. Okay, let's do it again.